We are now in the central city of Homs. This is Syria's third largest city. Now we are standing at the gates of the old part of the city. The old part has sustained a lot of damage due to the battles, and it was one of the latest places to witness rebel evacuation in 2014. This part in particular, you can see that the damage is a lot. There's a lot of damage here due to the intensity of battles that took place in this part of the city. The rebels reached an agreement in 2014 with the government to withdraw from this part, and the government assumed control over it. But since late 2014, when the rebels evacuated, this area has remained largely damaged and devastated. Of course, there were reports that people started returning to their homes and their marketplaces to fix it, but it's still not on a very high scale because the amount of destruction is huge. So now we will take a walk inside and see what has changed, to see if there are any people returning to their homes after nearly more than 2 years actually. This here is a clock. This is a small square of the old clock. This is so famous in Homs city. Now we're entering the old city. As we can see, the amount of destruction is unimaginable. And repairing these kind of buildings is not an easy task for the people or for the government, because now these buildings need, some of them, or maybe many of them, needs to be destroyed fully and rebuilt from scratch, even though some parts of it are historical, like the one we see there. It's a mosque, and that's in the minaret. We can see the huge amount of destruction. Now we're passing through one of the checkpoints set up here at this entrance. For checking people who are coming in and out. We can see on the right these places. These used to be shops, like for maybe food, for clothes, but it's still destroyed. No life so far, at least in the beginning. Okay, we can see some small reparations here. They have changed the shutters of their shops, but you can see the soot and the blackened buildings from the intensity of explosions and shelling. While we see, for instance, this shop is still damaged, still destroyed. We see on the other side of the street that this guy, for instance, managed to reopen his shop. Let's go and have a little chat with him. يعطيك العافية. مرحبا، كيفك؟ الله يخليك يا رب.
الله يبارك فيك.
نحن وكالة الأنباء الصينية. الله يخليك.
الله.
محلك كان مثل المحلات الخربانة؟
اي
ايمتى رجعت فتحته؟
رجعت انا بشهر التاسع.
أي سنة؟
هاي السنه يعني سنه 2016 وهي كم هي هيك.
ومع انه هي رجعت منطقة بال 2014، شو اخذك هالوقت؟ ليش ضليتك هالفترة الطويلة لفتحت ولا حتى زبطت حالك؟
لا بما ضبطنا المحل وهندسناه وكذا زي هيك.
ايوه
بما دخلت الورشات.
تمام. He said that he reopened his shop late 2016, particularly in September. احكي لنا شوي كيف شغلك هلا، كيف حاسس بعد ما رجعت فتحت محلات؟
الحمد لله رب العالمين اموره بخير الحمد لله رب العالمين.
ليش ضل مسكر محلك؟ ايمتى تركت المنطقة؟
تركنا المنطقه وقت يعني العالم كلها تهجرت ساعتها. يعني بالضبط ما بعرف
ضليتك شي سنة أكثر من هيك؟
يعني بهالدوار تقريبا.
تمام. He left his shop, this area for an entire year when the battles were so intense, and he returned in late 2016 and opened his back shop for selling suitcases. And now he said that he's happy that he's back to his shop and to his area. سلم ايديك. شكرا لك.
شكرا الله يعطيك العافيه.
شكرا. So even though the entrance of the old city was not that promising because the destruction were everywhere, greeting everyone coming, but we can see life here. We can see people coming and going. In 2015, when we first came here, the early 2015, these streets were filled with rubble and the burnt concrete. People couldn't walk here. The streets here, the streets that we can see that the cars are passing on, was something like that one there, full of rubble and a lot of garbage. Okay, so this is another shop here selling nuts. Local ones. مرحبا، مين صاحب المحل هون؟ يعطيكم العافية. حضرتكم محلاتكم هون؟ ايمتى رجعتوا فتحتوا؟
صار لي سنة.
صار لك سنة فاتح. قديش ضليتك بعيد عن محلك
ضليت بعيد محلي 5 سنين.
5 سنين. وقت ما بلش الأحداث طلعت.
أي وقت بلشت.
وين رحت؟
على الشام.
رجعت على الشام. تمام. وصار لك سنة فاتح هلا؟
صار لي سنة فاتح.
تمام. He said that he fled this area and he left his shop for 5 years since the beginning of the crisis, and he returned here a year ago to open his business again. كيف هلا حاسس بعد ما رجعت؟
والله الحمد لله رب العالمين امور تمام بخير. كل ما لقدام الحمد لله.
عم بتحس عم ترجع مكان الحياة يعني؟
الحمد لله رب العالمين.
ترجع.
الحمد لله الحمد لله.
He said that he's happy that he returned and he's happy to see that life started returning to this part of the city. Let's move forward and see how life is going on now after almost 2 years of the rebel evacuation from this part of the city. As we see, there are shops that are still destroyed, buildings that I don't think it can be repaired easily. Okay, let's see another guy in his shop after renovation. يعطيك العافية. مرحبا، كيفك؟ نحن من وكالة الأخبار الصينية. الله يخليك. قد صار لك فاتح محلك؟ ايمتى رجعت؟
أول السنة.
أول السنة هي؟ ب 2017. ليش طولت رجعت؟ في محلات فاتحة قبل.
هلا أنا ما صار لي شيء. أنا كان ما.
وكيف شغلك هلا؟
الحمد لله ماشي.
هلا هي منطقة شو اسمها؟
الحمدية.
الحمدية. هي مدخل الحمص القديمة تقريبا.
مزبوط.
تمام تمام. This guy here is the owner of a shop selling cosmetics for women. He said he returned here at the beginning of this year, 2017, to open his shop once again. Um, Homs has a very strategic importance. Um, it's Syria's third largest city, and it's in the heart of Syria and central Syria. It's a hub connecting the major Syrian cities with one another. And aside from that, there are plenty of gas and oil fields in its countryside. So it was crucial for the government to retake this area, and reaching an agreement or deal with the rebels here to leave was not an easy task, because among the rebels there were factions from the Al-Qaeda linked Nusra Front, which was reluctant to leave this area, but eventually, due to the intensity of the battles and because of the dire humanitarian situation, they eventually accepted the deal to leave, and most of them left to the countryside of or the city, the northern city of Idlib, and some of them to the countryside of Aleppo. Now, this city, Homs in general, is almost free of rebels except one neighborhood, which is Al-War neighborhood. The first batch of the rebels left Al-War. This is the third stage of an agreement reached in 2015 for Al-War to be emptied of rebels. There were some snags along the way which prolonged, which caused a delay in their evacuation. But today, the third stage of the rebel evacuation from Al-War has started. And with Al-War is expected to be free of rebels in the next few weeks, the entire city of Homs will be free of rebels, and it will be back under the government control completely. Of course, now we're talking about the city. About the countryside, of course, there are still some areas that are still under the rebel control. And the government is apparently will try to retake those areas once it will secure its grip on the city of Homs entirely. Okay, so this looks a little bit more optimistic. This place, we can see more than one shop open, even though there are destruction still seen everywhere. But the glimpse of life is seen back to this place as we're walking deeper into this neighborhood. Actually, the old city of Homs is not only one neighborhood, it's many old neighborhoods. Some residential, some for like marketplaces, for merchants. And this place that we are in right now is called Hamidiyeh, which is a predominantly a Christian neighborhood. Let's go have a little chat with this guy and see what's doing. السلام عليكم. كيفك؟ قديش صار لكم فاتحين هون؟ صار لك سنتين. كيف عم بتحس في حياة عم ترجع؟ انت صار لك سنتين، يوم عن يوم عم بتزيد ولا عم تفرق؟ في شيء عم يصير اصلاحات تصليحات؟
في اصلاحات
بس بسيطة ولا لسه؟
ما شاء الله الجمعيات هون عم تشتغل، عم تصلح بيوت العالم ومحلات العالم وكل شيء.
انت بيتك بهالمنطقة كمان؟ وين؟
حي الورشة.
حي الورشة. وبيتك تمام مصلحه كله تمام؟
صلحوا لنا جمعيات.
تمام. جمعيات هي خيرية، جمعيات أهلية، كيف؟
هاي أهلية.
جمعيات أهلية.
هلال الأحمر.
هلال الأحمر. Okay. So this guy here said that he returned to this area 2 years ago. Maybe once the rebels were out of here. He also lives here, and his business is here. And he said that the life is coming back to this part of the city. Every day he sensed a difference, and he said that some local community charities they are helping in rebuilding this city, and of course we can. Of course, it's much better than what it used to be like 2 years ago, but it's still not the renovation, the reparation process is not on a very high scale because such destruction needs a huge, a bigger effort, and it will take years. But still, this situation here is promising for the people who regain their lives here, regain their neighborhoods and their businesses they lost to the bloody war. Um, Now, as we were talking about the evacuation of rebels from Homs, rebels also evacuated several other areas over the past few months from around the capital Damascus and also elsewhere. We could see that now the situation seems better than before. People started to return to their old homes that they have for long been displaced from. Now that the Syrian crisis has entered its seventh year, we can still see some hope. We can still see hope in the eyes of people who are so glad they are being able to return to their homes, something that they couldn't have done before, especially in the between the 2012 and 2013, which were the worst years of this crisis. So yes, this is Old Homs city, and this is what life looks like here now after 2 years of rebel evacuation from this part of the city, and and people seem hopeful that this crisis would come to an end. They say that maybe the worst times are over, and they have hope, and they think that returning to their homes means the beginning of the end to this crisis.